fireworks came from. It started with the Dust Bowl. Along with the Dust Bowl was followed the Great Depression. And there was nowhere in this country that the pain of the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl was felt more than in Oklahoma and with our citizens. Something else that came out of the Great Depression was Franklin Roosevelt. Had it not been for the Great Depression, there may not have been a Franklin Roosevelt, but there was. Franklin Roosevelt was elected president first in 1932. In 1936, he was traveling on a whistle stop tour by train and was going to pass through Vinita, Oklahoma. Wasn't going to stop. Well, there was a group known as the Rainbow Chasers, and they were proponents of the Grand River Dam. They were outstanding people and a few kooks, but they were determined that the Grand River Dam was going to be built. They conjured up and got a resolution passed through the city council that if a train passed through Vinita, Oklahoma with a president on board, the train had to stop. President Roosevelt, agreed to do that and thought he would stop in Vinita, Oklahoma, and he would give a campaign talk. He was greeted with a demonstration by these rainbow chasers and kooks. They interrupted his talk many times, and on the third time, he acknowledged them and he turned to an aide, and they kept chanting, "Build the Grand River Dam, build the Grand River Dam." I don't think he had even a clue as to what they were talking about. He turned to his aide and he said, "When we get back to Washington, we will look into this." Well, he did get back to Washington. And he was reelected in 1936, and the Grand River Dam was built with the aid of the Depression, the Dust Bowl, President Roosevelt, the WPA, and many others. The Grand River Dam came about. Shortly after the dam was completed, the Second World War took place. In that time, there was also a farm boy from Vinita by the name of Bill Bailey. And Bill, he served in that war. He was a Marine, and he served in the South Pacific and participated in some of the bloodiest battles in the South Pacific, including the invasion of the island of Palau, which produced the single highest mortality single-day Marine loss in the history of the Marine Corps. That record stands today. Bill returned from the war and went to school on the GI Bill, eventually graduating from college and becoming an attorney. He returned to Vinita and practiced law there until he died. The other thing that happened after the Second World War with Grand Lake, post-World War America produced the greatest economy with the greatest growth and the greatest wealth that the earth had ever witnessed. And that, forest fire brought the development of Grand Lake and turned Grand Lake into the playground and the water recreational spot that it is. The Cherokee Yacht Club was formed shortly after the Second World War also. Bill became a member of the Cherokee Yacht Club, a yacht club sitting in the Dust Bowl on the banks of Grand Lake. The members started a tradition on the 4th of July of having fireworks, and the families had a picnic and they set off their fireworks together. Sometime along in the 1960s, Bill took this event over, and he started buying commercial grade fireworks and putting on a show every 4th of July. And he continued doing that, I believe, somewhere around 30 years. He ran that show while he shot fireworks, torches and all. And he continued this until hard economic times in the middle 80s created the closure of the Cherokee Yacht Club. At that time, he came to me and he first asked me to take over the show and continue. I showed a little reluctance, and then he told me I was going to take over the show and that we were going to continue what is now a 65-year-old tradition. I asked for your help when I took on that venture, and you have answered, my call over and over again. And the loyalty, and it's absolutely incredible and unbelievable.